Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our player ratings for Bradford City 2, Carlisle United 1. A very good win for us yesterday, and obviously it's been very nice to have the bragging rights over the last 24 hours or so. Before we do begin though, I'd just like to ask Korban about, Korban taught me how to make a cup of tea today, but also then tried to kill me at the same time. Would you like to just explain to the viewers what you tried to make me do?
Grab the tea bag.
With boiling hot water, you wanted me to grab the tea bag?
Yes.
So, a little bit of context, like I said, I've never made a cup of tea before. Cobb wanted a cup of tea. I thought I'd be polite, ask him to teach me how to make a cup of tea so I know for next time. And then he was telling me to grab the tea bag out of the boiling hot water cup tea thing and squeeze the boiling hot tea bag. And I was like, boiling hot water is then going to go all over my hand. So I got it on one of them little spoon things and I'm prodding the tea bag. I'm like, no, that's too hot. And you're like, yeah, just get on with it.
Yeah.
You would have killed me.
I wouldn't have killed you.
I'd have had no hand left.
You're dramatising everything, you.
I'm not.
You're right, you're hypochondriac, you dramatise things. All you have to do is grab the tea bag, squeeze the tea bag into the cup, and then I've got a lovely cup of tea. You couldn't do it because you were scared about hurting your hand for a second of a bit of pain. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
It's boiling hot water.
No, it's not. Yeah, maybe I was, yeah, it might hurt for a bit. But, yeah, and I'm not that bothered, to be fair, but it's just, just do it.
You had enough tea in the cup to not need me to risk my life for any more tea to drop out of the tea bag.
No. What you do is it stops it from flowing all over the kitchen floor. You don't want that, you don't want to slip. You don't want any leakage. You just want the tea bag to be in the tea. You want it nice and strong, but you don't want it too strong because then it's a bit bitter. But I just can't get over the fact you've never made a cup of tea in your life.
Why would I have made a cup of tea before I don't like tea?
Right. So when did you last drink a cup of tea?
I've never drank tea in my life.
You've never. Why you never drank tea?
Well, maybe I had a cup of tea at my nan and granddad's when I was like 8, and it was not very nice.
No, you wouldn't like it then.
Why?
Because it's not, is it? It's not really something an 8-year-old drinks. It's not. You want some sugary. You want some, to.
It's also not something that I'm 20. A 20-year-old drinks. That's like a 37-year-old person drink.
You've just offended a load of people. Yeah, and
there's not that many old people watching this. Anyone over the age of 37 and you're watching this on a Sunday evening, thank you. We really do appreciate the support.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? You couldn't have been any more patronising if you tried. Look, if you hadn't drank tea, you're missing out. Don't be ageist about it, because tea's lovely.
But you were just ageist by saying that at 8 years of age I shouldn't enjoy it. No. You've mixed that up there. You'd have a great career in journalism because you mixed my words. I didn't say shouldn't. I said you wouldn't, because I didn't. I said when I was probably about 11, I got into tea. That is wild.
What do you mean wild?
11. You had just started year 7.
Yeah.
Drinking cups of tea.
I'm mad for it.
That's outrageous.
I tell you what, this will surprise you, honestly. Before City game, right, I went into a pub and asked for a cup of tea.
You can get tea in pub?
Yeah. The new man, they made it themselves. Lovely.
But it's not like a normal thing. You don't just go up to the bar and be like, can I have a pint of tea?
We don't say pint of tea, cup of tea.
No, but you get pints in pubs.
Well, yeah, but they don't do a pint of tea. They're not going to do a massive pint of tea, are they?
Would you drink a pint of tea?
Yeah, but they're not going to do that, and you're not going to ask for it, because that's so stupid, that. But, a cup of tea, they'll do it.
Right, let's move on to some actual player ratings then. Starting out with Sam Walker. I've gone at 5 out of 10 for our number one. He makes an absolutely massive blunder for their goal. I cannot believe, even now watching it back, how that's gone in the back of the net. If we didn't have Andy Cook, and obviously Sam Walker had quite a funny post-match moment where he gives his gloves to the fans and say, them ones don't work so you can have them. But he made 2 or 3 saves in the game, which you definitely expect him to make. I thought his distribution was okay, but he has now made a few errors so far this season. We saw Grimsby's first goal where he just kind of gets caught out by the wind, but I don't think the wind made a significant change for him to kind of lose his balance and all that sort of stuff. And obviously the Carlisle goal yesterday, completely under no pressure, takes his eye off the ball, completely loses the concentration, and it could have seen his head drop. There was a few catches which he still had to come for. Maybe a few people were a little bit nervous, but he looked quite assured in doing that. But again, it is a massive error which has led to a goal. That's now 2 in the last 2 league games, and I do think there is a little bit of cause for concern. He was very good away at MK Dons. Since then, I do think his performances have been declining. There's been more and more errors coming into his game, so I'm going with a 5 out of 10 for Sam Walker.
He made a good save in the game. I think in the first half that they had a couple of good rebound sort of chances. And the free kick I'd expect him to make, and then obviously the goal he conceded, it was an absolute shocker. I mean, I don't know how you can possibly let that in. Paul Hudson isn't his favourite guy in the world, is he? Do you know who Paul Hudson is? He might be watching.
Who's Paul Hudson?
How do you know who Paul Hudson is?
Who the bloody hell is Paul Hudson?
It could be Paul Mitchell. There's two. He's a weatherman.
Why would I know a weatherman?
On the news.
I don't watch the news.
No, but I think they both support City. I think Paul Hudson and
Paul, let us know your surname and what your favourite weather is.
It's definitely Hudson.
Well, you said it were McCarthy or something.
McCarthy.
What did you say?
Have you got bloody McCarthy? No way I said McCarthy. I said Mitchell.
Mitchell, that's it.
But there's two. There's one for BBC, one for ITV. I'm on about the BBC one in Paul Hudson. But I think it's not Phil Mitchell. I had Phil Mitchell in my head and I thought, no, that's get out of my pub. Yesterday the rain, obviously the slippy gloves, the slippy hands, the slippy ball, it slipped into the back of the net against Grimsby.
Slippy balls.
I said slippy balls, yeah. Well,
I'm not 13, carry on.
What do you mean you're not 13?
But I don't find slippy balls funny.
You were just laughing. I didn't laugh about that. You made me laugh. So Grimsby, the wind, obviously direction caught him. But wait, what? No, it was the sun against Grimsby. You said the wind, but made me think the wind.
The first goal, the free kick, got tuck in the wind.
It wasn't even bloody windy.
Well, I didn't think it. I don't know. I wasn't there. You weren't there either. How do you know it wasn't windy?
Because it wasn't windy in Bradford.
Grimsby's right by the seaside. It's always windy there.
Oh no, complaining about all those. It was something with a T, wasn't it?
Is that before or after you tried to scold me?
I didn't try to scold you. I didn't try to scold you.
No, you tried to make me scold myself.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Right, check the Abate up next then.
I'm finished.
Oh my god.
What do you mean, oh my god?
You sat there going, scratching your neck.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember. Have you got a problem with me scratching my neck?
Carry on.
Thank you. What did you think, Harry Lewis? That's why I wanted to take it. But you started moaning about the weather, so I thought I'll just play into it.
First goal, I've seen him get a bit of criticism for that, but I don't think it's his fault. I think John Mellish is just an absolute donkey. Second goal, I think he should do better with. I think a goalkeeper with stronger wrists should comfortably save that, because the header is not anywhere near the corner and he just kind of flaps a wrist at it and he goes into the back of the net. I think he made that really good double save, didn't he, just after they scored. I think it's two saves you would expect him to make because of the angle. He made a good save, I think, from Sanderson in the first half. I don't know if it was blocked or it was a save from Harry Lewis, but I thought it was okay, to be fair.
Did you boo Harry Lewis?
I booed.
Did you?
Yeah, I did not clap him at half time.
I did.
I think...
Why not?
No, I think he's a nice guy, and I can understand if you want to applaud him at half time, but at the end of the day, he's playing for the opposition, and we should be booing for 90 minutes every time on the ball.
Yeah, but not him. So if it's him, right, why not boo John Mellish every time he got the ball?
I would have done, but if I just stand up and start booing their whole team on my own...
Then people join in.
No one's going to join
following.
In the family stand, no one is going to join it. They will look at me like I've shot their family member.
You didn't need to go that far, because someone might have been shot in their family.
Well, I need to grow up. I'm not directly offending anyone, am I?
No, you've got to be careful about what you say on
No, that's woke.
That is not woke.
This channel is not woke. We are anti-woke brigade.
Well, I just don't agree with the booing.
But he plays for the opposition.
Yeah, so boo the opposition.
So would you boo the whole team?
I would. If everyone did it, we should do that.
I agree.
Yeah, so let's
make it hostile.
Let's hostile.
Intimidating.
Scary. Let's really ramp it up.
Make them quake.
Make them quake.
Make them shake.
Shake. Let's make the back line be like Shaking Stevens. Anyway, let's move on to check the Abate.
Go on then. You can go first.
He had a good debut. I was impressed. Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how it should be actually instead of your drivel of notes.
No, you've just been complaining for 10 minutes that you wish you did notes.
So Abate, he had a good debut. Although I feel like down the sides he got caught out a bit. But I suppose that's nerves and a certain other player wasn't helping him. But I was impressed. So I'd give him a 6. I think average. I thought he was solid enough on his debut. And Sam Walker, I didn't give a player rating to. I'd give him a 6, 3 because of the mistake.
I have gone with an 8 out of 10 for Czech Diabate. I thought it was a very good league debut. His distribution was very good. Defensively, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. He won all of his aerial duels near enough and a number of very good slide tackles. I think he massively helped Brad Halliday in doubling up on Jordan Jones, who was a very, very good player, especially for League 2 level. I was really impressed with Diabate. I thought on Tuesday he had a good game. In this one against Carlisle, I thought it was very impressive. And overall for me, he gets an 8 out of 10 because I thought he had a really, really good game. Anything else to add on Diabate?
I said my piece.
So you want me to say my piece about everyone's favourite next?
Everyone's favourite, Mr. Neil Bird.
You want me to go first on Neil Byrne?
Right, well, I will be prepared to cuss in.
No, don't cut in. Just wait. Get my point across, and then you can get your point across.
I'll violently tap your arm.
Neil Byrne gets a 6 out of 10 from me. An average performance. He won a few headers against Wyke, but I think he also lost quite a lot, especially in the second half. Wyke bullied him for the large part in that game. He did make a good few blocks and some good headers, clearances, especially in that second half, but at times he also looked a little bit shaky. His distribution was okay, but I never really feel like he looks comfortable when he's distributing the ball. He also always looks really awkward in doing so. I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was amazing. Won some aerial duels, lost some, kind of expected for centre half, and it gets an average 6. I don't think he was bad, but I certainly don't think he was good. Average 6.
You said on my video he was pony.
Yeah,
Explain.
I just like to wind you up sometimes.
Yeah, I probably agree. I'd give him a 7 because I thought he covered a lot well down. There were a mistake he made, but it was a very unfortunate, unlucky mistake. Can you remember it? Well, he was doing well in the first place because Diabate got caught, and what Burns' job is to just run around the line and
Sweep.
That's the word. He's got a sweep, and so he was. And he got the ball and he hit it against their man, might have been Charlie Wyke, and then they got a really good chance from it. But he also made it, but he did well to get the ball in the first place, and it was just an unlucky miss kick. And then there was the block as well. He was sort of backing away, and you'd probably think, well, you've got to go and press, but he didn't, because sometimes if you go and press the ball, you can make yourself look like a bit of a fool. And he got a good block in for a corner. That was a good bit of play from Neil Bird.
Are you on about the thing that should have been a penalty?
No.
The blatant handball, which somehow didn't get given.
Did you forget to mention that in your vast notes?
I couldn't see from where I was. He had his back to me, so I don't know. You
couldn't see your notes.
But I was obviously watching your match reaction because I love watching all of your content that you produce. And you said, it was a blatant penalty, but you didn't want to say why because it was a certain Neil Byrne.
Yeah.
So do you agree it was a penalty?
Yes. Yeah.
Anything else to add on Byrne?
No. But he wasn't lucky with it, because he'd gone to block the shot.
I thought Jamie Walker was really harshly done with the handball in first half. They took a shot on his hands were down by his side, and ref gave a free kick for that. I don't think the ref were great.
Disgrace. He was poor. He was really poor. But they all are. I'm sick of them.
Kieren Kelly up next then. I've gone with a 7 out of 10 for Kieren Kelly. I thought it was a solid performance, probably his best of the season so far. I know the standard hasn't been particularly high for him so far this season. He took a brilliant cynical yellow in the second half. I think it was a short ball from Tyreek Wright. The little winger for Carlisle got past Kieren Kelly and he literally just put his arm around him and rugby tackled him to the floor. Brilliant cynical yellow card, took one for the team. His distribution was good. He didn't really get much support defensively from Tyreek Wright, but I guess we've all come to expect that so far this season. I thought he was fairly solid in there, so he gets a 7 out of 10 from me.
Won the most aerial duels in the game. Didn't get dribbled past once. You see that? That's all from my memory.
No, that's not from memory. Someone tweeted that.
Yeah, but I wasn't counting it, was I? I wasn't sat there going, that's another aerial duel, that's another aerial duel. Oh, 1 minute, he hasn't been dribbled past yet. What a surprise that is. I wasn't sat there doing it, was I? I could go on foot mob and just look at that. But it's from memory, because I remembered seeing it, last night. So, have that. Have that for your notes.
Anything else to add on Kelly?
Brilliant. But he switched off for a cross. Do you remember? You see, this is a funny thing. I remember things that you done, and you remember things like you're talking about things that happened. I'm like, I don't have a clue. I can't remember that. But do you remember the cross that came in towards the back post? Kelly switched off, and they had a
very early on in first half.
Very early on.
Yeah.
That was poor. But he recovered from that, and like I said, didn't really get much help. Everything came down the left hand side, and very, very, very aggressive in his defending, which I like to see.
Richie Smallwood is up next then. I've gone with a 7.5 out of 10 for the captain. I thought he was much better in this game than he has been in the last two. Again, the standard though in them two games wasn't particularly high. Thought it was really good leadership from him to pick Sam Walker up after his major error. You see him go straight over to him and drag him out of the net, and you kind of don't make too much of a big deal out of it, just drags him, make sure that his head's kept up, and I really did like to see that from Smallwood. Again, some brilliant tackles and interceptions in there. Mark Hughes spent 2 years trying to find the perfect partner for Richie Smallwood, but he doesn't need a partner. He can do everything in that role himself, and he stands out more when he's got actual good attacking players in front of him. How many times have we said, or have I said, that Alex Gilliard wasn't needed in there? As much as he would work hard, he never got enough goal contributions, and he didn't offer enough going forward, and it was hindering Richie Smallwood because they both kind of did the same job. Smallwood can do that all on his own, and he needs someone like a Walker, Patterson, Sarcevic, Poynton, Ador, Adams, the list goes on with all the players that can play in them positions to be them that attacking threat going forward. Smallwood can do it on his own. I thought he had a really, really good game again yesterday. A few times he got dribbled past a little bit too easily. On the whole, though, really impressive, and I think he's been a big player for us so far this season. I'm going 7.5 out of 10.
9, because if it weren't for Andy Cook scoring the 2 goals, who probably gets a 9, I'd give him man of match, no doubt about that, because his leadership, like you say, standing out massively, and he's pulling players together. You really see that talking, and I think that's the difference as well. I think he's more up for this season, and I'd put that down to Alexander. I think he's, every player looks up for every single game, every single battle. Couldn't really say the same about the Grimsby game, but then to get the reaction out of them, I think he deserves a lot of praise for that. And Richie Smallwood's been up for every game so far this season, holding the midfield down together like glue. And like you said, that moment with Walker, that really epitomised what a captain should be. And I wouldn't say we've seen that from Smallwood, particularly his first season, but that's the type of character he's turning out to be, and I'm all for it. And in the game, he's always wanting to get on the ball, and I think everyone said before, like you say, with Mark Hughes, he always wanted to play backwards, and now he gets on the ball and he's wanting to make things happen. He's wanting to play the ball into the creative players. He's wanting to spray passes out to Halliday, and if it ain't on, he doesn't play it. But 9 times out of 10 it is, and he picks those passes really well.
One other thing that I want to add on Smallwood as well is whenever we get a free kick or a throw-in, he's always really busy and he wants to take it as soon as possible, and a lot of the refs kind of don't really take much notice of it when the opposition players are just trying to run the clock down and take the ball away. But every time Smallwood does that, he normally does get at least one player booked per game. I think it was Dylan McGeoch who picked up the yellow card for Carlisle, and it's just having that extra 1 or 2% to get the opposition player booked, because we were winning at that point. We were never ever going to take that free kick early, but if you go and apply that pressure, it gives the referee a decision to make. And yeah, it's only a little thing, but I think them small things do add up in football.
Yeah. Next.
Brad Halliday up next then. I've gone with a 7 out of 10 for him. I thought it was a much better display from Halliday than what we've seen so far this season. Again, his standard hasn't been particularly high so far this season. Based on what we've seen, I was maybe not surprised, because I can understand in a game like that why Alexander would want to go a bit more defensive, but I think Jay Ben would have been the better option from the start. But again, I don't know how much football he's really played recently. I think Jordan Jones had the beating of Halliday quite a lot, but he took some very smart fouls, a good 4 or 5 times where it was just made it look like clumsy and accidental, but you could tell they were very blatant, and obviously after he played the ball, so there couldn't be a 1-2, or he couldn't then join back up with the attack. It allowed Halliday a couple of extra seconds to get back into position, and I really did like that from Brad Halliday, and he didn't manage to get himself booked as well. I thought his link-up play was decent going forward. Again, some of his crosses could have been a little bit better. On the whole, though, for me, a solid performance from Halliday, so I'm going with a solid 7 out of 10.
I think it was his best game so far, but I don't think he had a good game. And that's because there were countless times where he got his press wrong. He was too far up the pitch or not further enough up the pitch sometimes, and he left Diabate quite open, and I feel like if that were Tyreek Wright doing that, we'd be calling it out more. But Alexander, he noticed it, and he had a couple of words with him, and I thought he started the game poorly but got into it well, so I'd probably give him a 6 for that, because he was much better going forward than recently. We're taking players on, and they were more direct in his approach, and after Alexander had a word with him, about, because sometimes you're sitting off a bit, and he had a word with him, and then he was charging to challenge, and there was one where I saw, and this is why I love Alexander, because he's alert on the touchline, and he could see Allardyce backing off, and he was screaming at him to go and press the man on the ball, and he did, and that was a crunching tackle that he won, and he set us on the counter attack there. So I probably should have stayed up for the Alexander one, but I've said it for this one. But he was, like I said, he got caught out a few times and left Diabate exposed, and for his debut, I feel like he got caught up a bit too high up the pitch for me.
I actually wouldn't disagree with that, to be fair. It was kind of something that I did forget about, but I feel like it wasn't just Halliday. I feel like all over the team, really, we seemed to get our press wrong, and I think it came from Carlisle's midfield runners not being tracked by our midfielders. The likes of Ador and Walker were passing them on, but our defenders had already marked a player, so everyone was having to come over, and then they'd have the overload there, and it would just kind of, they seemed to be confusing each other just because the midfielders weren't tracking one another. I mean, Charlie Wyke had a big chance in the second half, which he hit off the post, and it came from Ador not tracking his man, which meant all our defenders moved over one. Byrne left it, and I think it was then Diabate had to come over to cover, but he'd already marked his man, so there was just a free man in the midfield because Ador didn't come through and track him, and thankfully Wyke didn't find the back of the net. But I think our press all over the park was wrong yesterday.
Yeah, it happened countless times, and like I said, our midfield, it happened against Grimsby. We're getting over one in there sometimes, and like I say, it's not tracking the runners, and that could come to cost us in games if teams try and find us out. And I think Carlisle were definitely getting close to finding us out in the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Jamie Walker is up next then. I've gone with an 8 out of 10 for Jamie Walker. I thought it was his best performance of the season so far. Excellent pressing for the first goal. Alexander said he thinks Jamie Walker is the best in the division at knowing when to just nick it, and he could clearly see John Mellish had his head down, was going to take a heavy touch. Walker did brilliantly to get in there, crossed it for Andy Cook, and obviously it's not the easiest of finishes, but it was a really good ball in from Jamie Walker. I thought his work rate was good all game, especially in that midfield. He maybe didn't deserve to start the game based on what we've seen so far this season, but he definitely took his opportunity. I'd expect him to start next week against Walsall. He was very impactful in last season's game away at Walsall, and he was very impactful in this one against Carlisle. He loves a goal in a big game, loves a goal contribution in a big game, and I think that game suited him quite a lot. When both teams have got good fans, the atmosphere's up, the crowd's up, that sort of the pressure that Jamie Walker thrives on, and it goes to show that just because you're out of the team 1 week, 2-3 weeks later, you could find yourself in from the start, because we've had Patterson and Sarcevic start the season away at MK Dons a month later, and we've got Walker and Ador starting in the midfield. Things will change. The players have got to stick with this management team, and I thought Walker was brilliant yesterday, so he gets an 8 out of 10 from me.
And I like that, because it means that you've got to be on it every week, and Walker's done himself justice there, because that's, like Alexander said, that's what we're accustomed to with Walker. He's pressing, he's a fantastic player facing goal. Like I say, we've got to run in midfield at times, and I think that's, when we're sitting in deeper, Ador and Walker, they can get lost in there, and but facing goal, goal kicks, and when they're playing out, he'll charge into them, and they won't know what's hit them. Teams when they've got a player like Walker charging at him, because he bites in and he always comes out with a ball, and obviously then we scored through that, and it nearly happened a couple of other times as well, and that's why he can be and possibly is the most important player in Alexander's system, because no other player presses like him in the final third, and he's a player who wants to drive into the pockets, drive into the space, and we probably should have created a bit more with the areas where Walker had the ball, but he gets an 8 for me, because that's something we've massively missed, his intensity.
And he was a big player for us at the back end of last season. Last season it was Poynton and Walker in there. Like I said, at the start of the season it was Patterson and Sarcevic. Now it's Walker and Ador. You'd expect again that to change next week, potentially, with Ador being a little bit average. And speaking of Ador, I've gone with a 6.5 out of 10 for him. Based on what we've seen so far this season, I actually thought he did deserve to start in this game, but I don't think he really took his chance, in all honesty. He keeps the ball very well, especially on a slippy surface. I think he was an important player for us, but he doesn't take enough risks. I thought his decision making at times was a little bit frustrating as well. I think he did deserve to be subbed off. I would have personally brought Patterson on at that point over Bobby Poynton. I think we needed Patterson's tenacity in that midfield a little bit more than Poynton's creativity, but I just don't think Ador did enough in this one. I feel like he's shown glimpses and flashes. Grimsby away in the cup gets a brilliant assist on Tuesday. I thought he had a really good game, but on yesterday, I don't think he really did display his quality enough, and that's why I've gone with it at 6.5 out of 10.
I'd give him a 7 because of how well he did protect the ball. I think it's an underrated skill in the game to use your body and protect the ball, and he draws fouls as well, and that's something we didn't do well enough against Grimsby. And when Ador and Walker came on, that was a big difference that we saw, doing the basics right, protecting the ball and then playing from there. And he showed flashes of quality, a few moves that didn't really add to much. Probably through him keeping the ball, maybe holding on to it a bit too much, but I'm quietly impressed, and I hope that he kicks on.
Tyreek Wright is up next then. I've gone with a 4 out of 10 for Tyreek Wright. He gets an absolutely brilliant assist for Andy Cook's second goal, but that was the only good thing he did in the entire game. I thought he was really, really poor. A number of underhit crosses, loads of sloppy passes, giving the ball away. I think the Carlisle winger, was it number 24, had him on toast all game. He seemed to get away from him far too easily, and he just never ever looks interested. It's constantly jogging. You don't want to take his man going forward. He got Kieren Kelly booked by playing a really short, stupid pass to him. He sometimes runs in behind when the running behind isn't on, and he'll come short to feet when the running behind is on. I think his decision making is really poor. But again, it all comes down to him being a winger playing in wing back. I do kind of feel a little bit sorry for him because he is playing out of position, but he's played in this position now for enough under Graham Alexander to know what he needs to do defensively, and going forward I don't think he's offering enough. Like I say, brilliant ball into the box for Cook's second goal, and I think he does deserve credit for that, but that was genuinely the only good thing that he did in the entire match. In the first half he tried to shield the ball out of play, got his pocket robbed, and I think Carlisle nearly ended up scoring from that, and it was just so frustrating. It's clear to see for everybody, Tyreek Wright is not a wing back. He's decent going forward at times, defensively absolutely hopeless though, and I don't think he's offering enough going forward to warrant what he's costing us defensively, and I'm going with a 4 out of 10.
Would you rather Wright in left wing back?
Oh no, absolutely not. He was useless both ways. At least Wright has a little bit about him.
Yeah, and the thing is in League 2 is, if you have a good quality, you can try and polish that and make a player shine from using it, and he's got his pace, and that there were a few moments in the game where he got him behind with his pace, and he's a threat with that, and I think he got one of their players booked by a good one too, and drawing a foul, which I'm a bit frustrated in, because I did feel like he could have continued his run instead of stopping when he got pulled back. The moment that down the wing where he tried to shield it out, I think Kelly tried doing it before and it failed, and he should have been switched on knowing that down that side the ball wasn't going out, it were gonna hold up. And he got dispossessed, and he made himself look like a fool, and I think he struggled then from there on in, because I think he was competently doing alright before then. After then I think his head dropped a bit, defensively more so, but then the cross, if he don't whip that in how he did, it's inch perfect, it's in the area where Andy Cook needs it, back post, pin it up to a back post and get it with that pace. He's scoring every day of the week. And so that were a great cross and great intelligence to know where Andy Cook would have been as well. And if he don't do that, we don't win the game. And for that, he gets a 6 for me, because it's moments in games like that where you need players to stand out, and he did.
Let's move on then to Andy Cook next. I've gone with a 9 out of 10 for Andy Cook. It would have been a 10 if he would have scored the header from Smallwood's free kick in the first half. Smallwood took about 30 seconds to take the free kick after the referee blew his whistle. He was wanting to play short, wanting to go to the back post. He eventually found Andy Cook, who was completely unmarked in there, and somehow he headed it down and it went onto Sanderson's boot. It was a really, really poor finish, but brilliant for him to finally get his goals against Carlisle. The first one isn't an easy finish. As much as it is a decent ball into the box from Walker, it's bobbling, the surface is wet, it's on his weaker left foot, and it's still a really nice tidy finish into that bottom corner. The second one is a brilliant header. Harry Lewis should definitely do better with that. Like we mentioned at the start of the video, a goalkeeper with stronger wrists easily keeps it out because it's not in the corner, but I think it was still a really good header, to be fair. Like I say, good crossing from Tyreek Wright. I thought his link-up play was decent. He should have won a penalty as well. It looked to me like he'd been pulled down. I don't know how you saw it, but people around me were saying that he'd had his ankles taken away from him. I'm not really too sure, but the way he went down, and the way not just the Bradford players stopped, but the Carlisle players also stopped as well, I think it was very telling as to why it should have been a penalty. But absolutely brilliant yesterday. That's the Andy Cook that we know and love. 5 goals now for the season, should be 6, 3 in the league. I'm sure he's one of the top goal scorers in the division already, and I think he'll definitely win the Golden Boot this season in League 2.
Yeah, he got pulled down. It was sort of a pulling of his shirt. I think maybe on reflection the day after, maybe he played on it a bit, but you've got to, you're a striker, you've got to play on it. There was hands, he got pulled back, the ball there, he could have shot, he got pulled away from it. So for me, that were a clear penalty, and poor refereeing again. Two well taken goals, and with a striker, you're obviously going to look at the goals and judge him on that, but I thought his overall play were good as well, and I've been disappointed with his aerial ability this season and his jumping reach, but he was up against Terrell Thomas, who looked like a pretty big unit, and you know he had a good leap on him, won a lot in the air, considering how he started the season with that as well. He's looking leaner, he's looking meaner, as we've heard before, but this time it's definitely showing. And Andy Cook, this is the striker we know and love, and that second goal was Andy Cook-esque.
I was listening to his post-match interview yesterday, and he was saying that when he scored all the goals for us in that 22-23 season, that was the leanest he's ever been in football. Last season he was playing with knocks and was also not where he wanted to be with his own body, he said, and this season he's come back in pre-season. He looks the leanest Andy Hook that we've seen, so that means we're going to get the meanest version out of him. 30 league goals is definitely incoming for him this season if he manages to stay fully fit, and I think that's a big thing for Andy Cook, is making sure he is as lean as possible and you keep him as fit for as long as what you can. He's our 8th all-time top goal scorer, 75 goals for Bradford City. I think it's not stupid to say he's a legend at Bradford City now.
No chance is it stupid, I mean.
Ah. I thought you were just completely disagreeing with me then.
No chance is he not a legend. He's right up there, absolutely.
Brilliant. Not Andy Cook. Ollie Sanderson is up next then. I've gone 7 out of 10 for Ollie Sanderson. I thought he had a really, really good first 65, 70 minutes. I thought he was really impressive in the game. Should have scored that chance in the first half. His touch kind of took him a little bit too close to Lewis, and then the angle was a little bit too tight, and for him to then find the back of the net, it would have taken a really, really specific type of finish. After the 70-minute mark, he did seem to tire quite a lot. Understandable. He's obviously not played much football for Bradford City. He's been on the bench quite a lot. This was his first start of the season in the league. He takes a bit of pressure off of Andy Cook as well, because he's much more physical than the likes of Callum Kavanagh, etc., and he can also hold the ball up. I think out of every player we've got, he's probably our best partner to Andy Cook as well. Callum Kavanagh not even in the matchday squad yesterday. Tyler Smith nowhere near the standard. Oliver's far too similar, and Harry Ibbotson obviously hasn't had a look in all season so far. I'm going 7 out of 10 for Sanderson.
Yeah, 7. I know we're going a bit over time, so I'm just going to say I agree with every single word, and he looks like a quality player.
Bobby Poynton was the first and probably only notable substitution of the game. I've gone 6.5 out of 10 at 4 points, and he had some good stuff, some sloppy stuff. I don't think Tyreek Wright really helped with the link-up play down the left-hand side. He gave the ball away a few times sloppily, if that's the word. I feel like he could have been a bit more tidy on the ball, but I still think he had a decent performance overall. He was on for long enough to impact the game, maybe unlucky with 1 or 2 moments, but overall I'm going 6.5 out of 10.
6, didn't do well.
And the other 3 substitutions were literally on for about 7 minutes, so if you've got anything else to add, we'll just come to that at the end, but I'll run through them quickly. Alex Patterson gets a 6 out of 10 from me. He was on the pitch for 7 minutes. He helped to see the game out. That was about it. Can't really remember anything that he did in the match. But then Oliver, I've also gone with a 6 out of 10 for, again, on the pitch for 7 minutes. He used his presence to help run the clock down in the corner once or twice, and that was about it. Tried to put himself around and he actually barged into Harry Lewis and tried to push him outside of the penalty area, but the referee gave them advantage for that. And Jack Shepherd, I've gone 6.5 out of 10 for, again, on the pitch for only 7 minutes. Looks very comfortable at left wing back, though. I think it's good for a centre half to look comfortable in the wing back department. I don't think you can say that about many of them. Maybe it would be different if we were having to attack more and go forward. I think he's 1,000 times better than Tyreek Wright defensively, as you would expect a centre back to be better than a winger defensively. But yeah, I'm going 6.5 out of 10 for Shepherd. Anything else to add on Patterson, Oliver, or Shepherd?
Oliver, goal of the season contender, wasn't there?
Actually, yeah, I forgot about that. He saw his name up in lights and it nearly went out for a throw-in.
Yeah, he was thinking Rooney, he was thinking Van Persie, he was thinking Van Basten, and then corner flag.
And then he realised he's actually Vidane Oliver, and he should have just gone to the corner with that. There was 2 or 3 minutes left. You're in added time. Why are you shooting from 40 yards out?
I would have.
I can understand why, but I don't think it was a smart thing to do. And a player of his experience, I don't think Andy Cook's shooting from there, and he was on a hat-trick. He was on a perfect hat-trick, actually.
Well, we all know what happened to the guy we were competing with when he came into the club. Danny Rowe definitely would have shot there, and maybe that's why Truman got rid of him. Maybe Oliver's going to get the Danny Rowe treatment.
Well, we can hope.
Well,
to get his wages off the wage bill, because I don't really think he contributes enough for, $4,000 a week, something like that?
Nah.
Graham Alexander is our final player rating for today's video. We've been going on for quite a while, so thank you all for sticking with us. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. That's the one if anyone is still watching by this point. Let us know down below.
Tea or coffee?
Tea or coffee, let us know down below.
Unless you're like this muppet who doesn't drink either.
I think I would prefer coffee to tea.
Yeah, because you never bloody drank tea.
Yeah, but teas. I might bring out the W word here. Tea's woke.
I thought you were going to say another W word, which would not be on this channel, which could make this channel work.
T is also wank.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, we're not woke.
Graham Alexander gets an 8.5 out of 10 from me. I thought you got the tactics...
Spot on.
Well, I put tactics and press spot on, but I criticised the press loads earlier.
You did. You don't take any notice of this guy, honestly. Don't know what he's on about.
Well, I put down you got the tactics and press spot on, but I don't think we did. I think we got the press okay in the final third, but in the midfield and defence, I think we got it wrong, is probably what I mean to say by that. I didn't fully agree with the lineup, and I don't think Tyreek Wright can really play as a left wing back. I'm not so sure Neil Byrne makes it in to the best back three that Bradford City have when everyone's fit and available. For me personally, I go Baldwin, Diabate and Shepherd as our best back three, but I could also understand why you go Kelly over Shepherd. I think Diabate is much better than Byrne. I also think that Baldwin will play more than Johnson, because Johnson seems a bit of a sick note. I've also put down what do we think is our best number 8's partnership. So I'll let you give your thoughts on Alexander, then give me your best back three, and then give me your best midfield partnership in front of Smallwood.
They're gonna be asleep. This video is gonna be 2 hours long.
That's fine.
So Alexander, brilliant. You know, everything's spot on. You know, he's the man. Yeah, we're going up in safe hands with him.
The Bogs Dollocks.
He is the bee's knees. What next?
What do you think is Bradford City's best back three when everyone's fit and available?
Right, well, this will be coming up later on in the season, no doubt. But Neil Byrne is our best centre back.
That is an outrageous take.
It's not. It's not. Maybe we need to do a full separate video on that. Neil Byrne is our best centre back, and you go Baldwin and fully fit. Are we doing?
Fully fit.
Well, it's debatable with Byrne and Baldwin, but yeah, Byrne middle, Baldwin right, and then left Kelly right. Next question.
The best number 8 partnership in front of Richie Smallwood. Next week away at Walsall, everyone's fit and available. Who starts?
Walker and Ador.
You would start Ador?
Yes.
Over a fully fit Sarsvik, fully fit Patterson, fully fit Point, and fully fit Adams.
No. Look, this is where you've shot yourself in the foot. You know.
Well, it looks like I've shot myself in the foot with that toe.
And I wasn't going to bring that up, but you've done your crime to yourself. You have shot yourself in the foot. What was saying? You shot yourself in the foot because Sarsvik is injured.
But I've just said if everyone's fit and available.
Yeah, but he isn't fit and available for Walsall.
But this is hypothetically speaking.
No, but he isn't.
Because you asked too many questions.
You asked 3 questions.
And you've asked 4.
When? What 4 questions
Tea or
have I
coffee?
asked? You told me to ask them a bloody question, and then you go and ask 3. What would the point in that?
No, I asked you 2 questions.
You've asked me them, but that should be aimed at them. You don't know how to do it, the audience in participation.
Alright, audience participation. This is where we're going to get our tick box. Let us know down below what is your best back 3. Tick. And also let us know down below what is your best number 8's partnership. Cross.
What do you mean cross?
Like Tyreek Wright's cross. A good cross.
I'm cross with you. What do you mean cross?
Why are you cross with me? You tried to scold me earlier. What about is it the Liverpool kit with a wonky Nike tick?
I haven't seen it. Can't comment. Don't wanna. Well, why did you not just send... We've finished talking about Alexander. You asked me 3 bloody questions.
2 questions.
No, but you asked me Alexander, Patterson 8, whatever.
And Patterson 8. You've just said Burns the best centre-back in the league.
He is. Where you going?
Well, we finished, aren't we?
When did we didn't say thank you and all that.
Well, do you want to thank them?
I want to thank them.
Go on then.
Thank you for which... Shall we do it in that camera? Or
I've completely forgot that camera there.
Is it not in use? Is it like Tyler Smith? Thank you very much for watching. We massively appreciate it, and we mean that from the top of our heart.
The top?
Yeah. Like the video if you did, because you probably did, because, you know...
Well, if you made it 50 minutes in, you should have liked the video.
Yeah, well, it's probably about an hour in it with your 3 bloody questions at the end. Subscribe if you're new, and if you're not new, then subscribe, because... You know, you need to. You know, you need.
We need to get 1,000 subs so we can start earning money, and you can start getting
1,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's this channel, isn't it? Yeah. Bloody subscribe. You know, he's working hard here. This is his 4th, 5th, 6th, 100th channel he's done. You know, you come in your numbers. You know, there's what 1,000 on the last one, and 200 subs. Get bloody subscribing.